And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. It is a TGIF version, and I'm looking forward to the, I guess, shorter weekend. It's not as long as Labor Day was, but then Labor Day flew by, and of course, back here again for a couple of great shows here on a Friday. The last 2 days has been the Texas Two Step here on the show with a couple of shows a day, and we got a good one coming up today. International artist and Nashville recording artist Twinny will join us here on the Backstage Pass. She's doing some big things, and I think playing in Nashville as of tomorrow night too as well. And of course, always presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey and Honky Tonk Texas. You can catch us at hightidecountry.net and powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com. And a few technical difficulties are out of the way. We're swimming and right now in the deep end of the pool. It's Corey and Jeff, the brothers known as Lemon Cash, on the show. What's up, guys?
Hey, Brandon.
How are you?
Man, good to have you guys. And we're going to talk a little music over these next 20 or so minutes here. But, hey, I got to get that lead story out of the way, which I love. We're talking about this before the show. The name itself, Lemon Cash. Go ahead and tell for people that don't know. You guys, brothers, of course, starting this group, which is fantastic. We'll talk about a lot of great songs today. Talk about the name itself. And I love the fact of how this came together.
Well, we get asked this a lot, so I think tonight we're gonna do a little rock paper scissors to see who's gonna answer this question.
I love it.
Do one. Rock paper scissors. Okay, so winner.
Choose.
Oh God! No! Let's do this again. So basically, yeah, the story comes from Corey and I as young kids. We had a lemonade stand when we were younger, and there was a little cup on the table that we had where neighbors would stop by and buy some lemonade, and the coins and the money that they would put into this cup, we would shake it and go to our mom and say, look at all this lemon cash. So it was represented. We would call it lemon cash because we would buy more lemons with it. So of course, one evening Corey and I were starting the band, and we were talking, reminiscing about old childhood stories with my mother, and she brought up that story of us having a lemonade stand, and one thing led to another, and she even brought up, she said, you guys used to call it lemon cash. It was your lemon cash that you made. And obviously going through that time in our lives of trying to find a name for our band, that one just kind of stood out, and we were just kind of like, lemon cash. It's kind of got a story to it. It feels like it'd be a good name for a band. So here we are.
I love that too. That's so cool because also the last couple of years have really been, busy for you guys. You know, the live shows are just awesome. People tell me, and we hear things in this thing called the music industry, and us as media, we've got to get out there and check out these shows and see them in person too, because you guys have done a record number of shows the past few years. Obviously signing with the Sakamoto agency too as well. A huge run at the Calgary Stampede where y'all did, I think it was like 9 shows in 10 days or something like that. So let's talk about the whirlwind you guys have been on as Lemon Cash for the past 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, well, that being said, we better see you at our next show there, Brandon.
Yeah, man, if I get up there toward your area, neck of the woods, I definitely have to get there, no doubt.
Well, you'll be number one on the guest list for sure. So.
You just talk about that whirlwind, what it's been like for you guys. Canadian Country Music Awards and playing all these great venues and great shows. And of course, Dan Swinimer, a great producer out there too. You guys are getting to work with now on a lot of these songs and the writing, and of course, what's going on with your camp.
Yeah, 100%. Like it's been a hell of a whirlwind, and we're like you said, you mentioned Sakamoto, like so many things that we feel like we've only been doing country for a couple of years now, 3 years, and we are so humbled and just. We couldn't be more appreciative of the opportunities that have been kind of knocking at our door. So like with starting off with our shout out to our manager, Tina Simpkin, who's kind of just been orchestrating this whole chain of success and opportunities that we've had. So then came Sakamoto and Warner and then Dan Swinimer came along too as well and introduced us to a whole bunch of artists to write with. Luckily, it was our first write was with Wes Mack, who's a beauty. We had a great time with him and wrote breakup songs. So go figure, the first kind of write we've had with other than Corey and ourselves writing a song. It was with someone else and Dan. Breakup song happens and look where it's gotten it. So it's just we're blessed, and honestly, this is just we're just so
hell of a ride,
and we're so grateful for it.
No doubt about it. Let's get into that single here, Breakup Song, which came out June 23rd across all the platforms. The idea behind it, everybody has to have at least one good beer drinking song, one good breakup song for country music. So I love how this originated. Talk about the story of how this came together.
Yeah, and we kind of think it hits both. You can, it's a good breakup song. You can drink beer to it as well. So it's both those vibes. But no, it actually, that was just like Jeff mentioned. We had our first co-write with Dan and Wes Mack, and that was actually an idea that Wes Mack had brought to the table. That we call it a start. It's where you have a verse to chorus, and then so we helped him. He had the lyrics and the melody for the verse to chorus, and then we helped him tweak the lyrics and the melody a little bit for that verse to chorus, and then we helped him finish the rest of the song and write a bridge for it and everything, and then that's how it came about. And it was just a great hangout with all four of us. I think we worked really well together, and
yeah, it was good energy for sure. Made it very made it comfortable to kind of complete that song in one session. Maybe it was 4 or 5 hours, but it was it was a good all around hangout, like Corey mentioned, for sure.
And you got news. This was a top 40 radio hit. Kind of what went through the minds, the emotions coming out when you got the news.
Oh, I had to put my glasses on to look at this.
Yeah.
Really?
No, but
I
couldn't. That was absolutely wild to see that. It was it's so exciting, and just to see the text coming in too. Congratulations, and people tagging us on Instagram and all that stuff, just throwing out the congratulations. We really felt the love, and we felt
even just hearing the song on the radio. You know what I mean? I'm cooking some bacon and eggs, and then I hear it on the radio in my kitchen here, and I'm going, "What? This is someone? Is my Bluetooth connected to my phone, or someone play?" But no, this is actually the radio playing this song.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Yeah,
I love it. Congrats on that. And also too, I love the fact you guys got to do kind of a real catchy summer vibe for me when I got a chance to check it out too a little bit, which was It Ain't Me, It's You. And this was very high energy if people want to get up to a song and just kind of enjoy a weekend for that, what's left, I guess, of summer now, or summer may be officially over. But it came out when it came out, and of course was a great summer anthem. Talk about this one, the arrangement, how this came together.
That, I guess, was another first for us in that sense. It was our first pitch, like the first song that was ever pitched to us. We weren't a part of that writing process for that song, but Dan Swinner, when we started working with him, he actually gave us a list of songs that he said, this is all up for grabs. If you guys take a listen, see what which ones you like, and that was one of them that we picked. We thought, like you said, it brings the energy. It's a challenge vocally too. It hits the high notes in there, so it's good challenge.
Harmonies as well.
I can imagine.
But some solid energy, like you said, Brennan, and that's kind of why we try to be a little versatile with our music to try and bring. We're suckers for sad songs. We like the good old slow country songs, but we also like the mid tempo, like you would hear in breakup song, but also the high energy in It Ain't Me, It's You. And so we're looking for a song in that element and that kind of energy. And It Ain't Me, It's You. That was our pick, and we were lucky enough to be the band to choose it and represent it. So thanks to Dan Swinnermer and team for writing it and pitching it to us. And it's so fun playing it live too. It really gets the crowd going and gets the band going too. It really pumps us up.
That's what songs are meant to do, no doubt here. We got to take a quick time out here on the Backstage Pass. Of course, coming up here in a little bit, 20 is going to join us to round out the week, too. Fantastic artist. I got to meet her a couple of years ago at Country Radio Seminar. We do our coverage there yearly from Nashville, Tennessee. And, of course, we'll come back and talk about with the guys. One called Locked Up that came out last year, 2022, and one called Someone. Two fantastic songs there. It is Lemon Cash. It is the Backstage Pass presented by Bangtail Whiskey and our friends at Honky Tonk, Texas. Stay tuned.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by thesportsguyspodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And speaking of sports, opening weekend for the National Football League. If you watched a little bit last night, the Lions surprised the Kansas City Chiefs. And yeah, my fantasy draft hurt with Pat Mahomes as my quarterback.
Yep, I was going for the Chiefs on that one.
Yeah, I was like, damn, it just happened that way too. But hey, there's a whole weekend of football to play to. We'll have more comments on that too. High school football coverage tonight, CajunCountryRadio.com and the SportsGuysPodcast.com. High school, we're all over it too. And of course, posting scores as of tomorrow morning because football is big in Texas and, of course, other parts of the country. Back here on the show, the Backstage Pass presented by Banktail Whiskey and our friends over at Honky Tonk Texas, back here with Lemon Cash on the show. So I love the title of this one and I love the feel of one called Locked Up. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I guess with that title, you wouldn't expect it to sound the way it does, but
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, that was just obviously when the all famous COVID hit. We we were kind of, like I said, we were all in lockdown, so we decided to write a song called "Locked Up." It's just it was kind of put more of a, like, we obviously know everyone had had their hard times with it, but we wanted more of a positive spin where it's like, hey, you know what? Maybe if you've been working so hard and you haven't really had time to, settle down and spend time with your spouse or whoever it is you're living with, kind of thing, this was a good opportunity to do so. So we kind of wrote the song about that and just gave it more of a lighthearted feel. And yeah, that's pretty much how that song came about.
You can watch Netflix guilt-free because you can't leave the house anyways. So exactly. You can sit and binge watch as much as you want without feeling any guilt or whatever. So we released the video for it. We had a lot of fun actually making that. It's where we grew up in our mom's home in Barrhaven, in Ottawa, where we're from. And it just captures our kind of our fun, goofier side and a fun little swing to it. All being locked up, not leaving our house. And there's a dance we do in there with house coats on. So if anyone's watching and you want to see us in house coats with synchronized dancing, that's the video for you to watch.
Brandon, if you want to send us a TikTok of you trying out the dance moves, you can do that as well.
Yeah, I can probably. That'd be funny, man. I tell you, my dance moves lost me a long time ago. But you know what? Anything is worth it today. And TikTok is something I'm just now getting used to. They say the older generation can't do it, but hey, I was a '90s country guy, grew up with that, and I'm still. Even today and talking to people, and I kind of get this feeling of like, I grew up, and I'm sure you guys did too. You love vinyl records. You love coming into your house, putting the vinyl on, moving that needle over, pressing play, dancing with the wife or whoever, significant other, and just having a good time with good old music. And it was, for me, it was Merle, it was Conway, it was T.G. Shepherd, it was all these iconic Oak Ridge Boys. For you guys growing up, who did it? I mean, who was your kind of the juice in the music? Who was it?
Oh, we can name off there's Joe Diffie was a big one.
There you go. Yeah.
Joe Diffie, God rest his soul.
Yes.
That was tragic news to hear.
Very tragic.
Big Toby Keith.
Toby Keith, yeah, definitely.
Big Toby Keith guy.
Obviously George Strait, the King.
The King.
Yeah.
We can't forget about the King. I just why did I mention that one? I don't know.
Well, and obviously we're a duo, so like Brooks and Dunn was always a big Canadian country too. Paul Brandt was a big artist, and growing up for sure. Blue Rodeo was another band that we love listening to.
And I don't know, you ever heard Brandon of Charlie Major? Does that ring a bell?
That name, it sounded, remember a song, but the name sounds familiar. I'd have to hear the tune a little bit to probably bring it back. Yeah,
because he's a country artist from I guess.
He's from Elmer here, so it's Quebec. On the Quebec side.
Yeah,
Quebec side. The name does sound familiar too, because now definitely getting so much great talent. Speaking of that too, it's crazy that the talent I'm featuring here. I mean, the Megan Patricks and the Lainey Wilsons and all these great females movement now going on right now with great Canadian artists too. And I've talked to so many people. I mean, Carly June, who I'm going to track down probably next week or two. She's releasing some new stuff too here. It is completely insane that and traveling to Nashville, you see more of the talent coming from up there. Why is that?
I think it's just better exposure. Maybe where they're from, this music scene. I mean, speaking from people that are from Ottawa, music scene isn't the biggest here. In fact, there's not really much of a music scene. Sometimes you have, you hear about a band playing at our arena where our Ottawa Senators play. We go, we've never even heard Eric Church came and played. Like I didn't even hear any advertising about it. I never even knew he was here.
Yeah.
But anyways, as far as that goes, like the country artists that come in actually sell out quite a bit. But as far as bands that are up and coming, there's not really much of a avenue or much of an exposure or anything, any scene really to kind of get your name out. We always have to go to, the West Coast, Alberta to play there. We find it's bigger scene there. Or so maybe Nashville, they call it Music City. So I think people that are willing to obviously take it, to that level, I think that's probably the reason why they get there, is just more opportunities. But now everyone's doing it. So is it really, that much of a game changer? Or
Well, I think, and what's cool about it, speaking of hockey and just people kind of selling out arenas and all the venues, I got to go to see the Leafs a couple of years ago with played down in Tampa. I still want to go see them in Toronto. I've been meaning to get to that beautiful city for a lot of years up there to watch the Jays and visit some friends on the west side of Canada. We can actually fly back to the east side and see sporting events up there. You guys got to play, I believe, the last couple of years at least, the Ottawa Senators Fan Appreciation Day. I read somewhere where y'all got to do that. Now that in itself, coupled with hockey, it had to be just one hell of a ride to even do that. And also again, Fan Appreciation Day, performing in front of thousands upon thousands of hockey fans. What was that like?
Oh, it was amazing. It was it was just cool. We got to play for, all the fans walking into the arena. So it was just kind of, obviously our music was listened to by a lot of people because obviously, as the lineup builds up we're right there at the stage. I happen to be a Leaf fan. So I had to be a Sens fan for that night. So that was a little bit difficult. But no, it was great. We got tickets to the game afterwards, and it was cool. Met a lot of cool people, and got to watch some hockey at the same time. And it was just really good.
This first time I've seen a good turnout at a Sens game, so it was nice to see actually some fans there.
I love that. It's like I said, Lemon Cash had a lot to do with that too for that turnout, no doubt. Another one last year that I really enjoyed, really cool single art cover. I look at that a lot of times for this kind of having this kind of beach feel to it, water in the background. This song called Another Chance. Let's talk about this one a little bit and kind of dive into the specifics of where this came from.
Yeah, that was just kind of it was another breakup song kind of thing but it was, I guess you'll appreciate it being a sports podcast.
Yeah.
It's about wanting another chance, but using, sports references like a missed field goal, a last pitch or a last strikeout kind of thing, a last swing and you miss it and you're out.
A lot of metaphors.
Yeah. So just kind of, So that's kind of where that song came from. I thought it would be cool to, being sports fans ourselves, I just figured to, write a song kind of combining the two, music and sports.
That's what I did here on this platform, and I've done pretty well with it so far.
That's why you picked the song to talk about it. You got the sport references.
You got the sport references too, and I love that song. Another Chance there too, and there's so many great songs. I'm gonna go back to one of the ones that really I enjoyed getting a chance to listen to. This was called Wild Side. Now let's get into this one a little bit too, because I know this was 2021, just after COVID when this came out. I believe it was August of that year, 2021. Let's dive into Wild Side.
Yeah, so for me, it was kind of I was starting to play guitar a little more. I'm a drummer. I play the drums in the band. And so I was playing more guitar, obviously, because I wasn't doing anything, wasn't going anywhere. So what not a better moment to try and play the guitar and try and get better at it. And I actually started putting a tune together. And Wild Side was the idea, I think, one of few that I had that kind of stuck with me that I shared with Corey, and it was the first time I think we ever written a song through, because everyone was doing Zooms, and this is probably where the whole virtual connection came from with writing songs. So I think it was the first song we actually wrote together in the same room, and it was kind of like I took a verse, I had a chorus, and then Corey took the second verse, and we just kind of it was a really good 50-50.
Like a hot, so we did like I always use this term, like hot potato type of thing, where he's like, okay, I got the verse and chorus, now you take over to write a second verse and chorus. And so I send it back to him. He goes, oh, okay, that's good. I like that. Okay, and I'll continue to write the bridge. So it was kind of, that's how.
That's right. And then, then we met online and we just put it together. And then, we recorded it with a fellow friend, Doug Oliver, and he put that together. And yeah, it's kind of, again, a high energy kind of fun song, again trying to take the negative energy from COVID and kind of turning it into positive energy. But again, easier said than done when you're trying to do that for the world. So it was a fun song to do. It was it just kind of opened up the doors for Corey and I to kind of say, hey, we wrote this song together, let's keep this going, let's keep we have it in us to kind of get more out there. So
and definitely we need those songs like that to turn that negative energy into something positive, because that we went through hell and back, and I hope we never see that in our country again. And my heart still goes out to the loved ones and families and people that were affected by this too, because definitely, and again, those first responders and nurses and doctors and people that were out there too, thank you for putting your life on the line too as well, to protect something that we hope to God we never see again in this world that we live in right now here. We'll take a quick time out here. More word from our friends at Bangtail Whiskey. And, of course, Honky Tonk Texas.us, Honky Tonk Texas. Great dance hall down here in Texas. Love working with the guys. Been with them for about 2 years now here on the show. And, of course, we'll come back and put the finishing touches. We're going to have the guys back on, too, no doubt, when new music comes out. In fact, an EP is coming in 2024. We'll come back and talk about that. Right now, word from Bangtail Whiskey. It is the Backstage Pass. Stay tuned.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And, of course, coming up next week, some great shows. Hillary Reese going to drop by. We'll talk about her new single. And Katie Offerman, she's doing some big things on Universal Music Group. Katie will be by here in a few weeks. And still trying to track him down, but he will be here. I've got the word for it on the Backstage Pass. Greatest Hits album came out today. The great Josh Turner coming here on the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com and, of course, HighTideCountry.net. Back here with the guys from Lemon Cash. And I wanted to ask y'all, the new EP is coming out 2024. Kind of elaborate on that a little bit for me.
That's right. Yeah, 2024. Not too sure exactly. We don't have a release date quite yet, but it's definitely in the works, and we're just trying to get that together. Which songs we're going to put on there, and still have left to record and all that. But definitely middle of 2024. Well, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mid 2024.
And a lot of great music. We're so excited to release, like this is the first time that I got really excited to kind of put out these types of songs, because we really got to the drawing board and really picked the ones that we didn't feel rushed. It was kind of could take our time and just kind of pick the ones that were suitable for us. And no, they're all very, very great, powerful songs, and we're really excited to share it.
Well, I got to have a little fun, rapid fire. Of course, I'm going to have you guys back on too. New music comes out. Away from music, sports-wise, you mentioned hockey, things like that too. Other hobbies, what do you like to do for fun?
Listen to music.
Yeah. Well, we've got a cottage, so we like to try and get up as much as we can, do some fishing,
Golf and fishing.
some golf for sure.
There you go.
I like to read. You like to read too, Jeff. We just kind of like to dabble in reading.
Reading is hard for me, but when I have a good read, it's more enjoyable. But it's honestly spending time with friends and family that's what matters most to me. And usually that's just kind of going at the cottage and fishing and playing golf and
Well, count me in, because we're going to play some links. We got to get up there, play a little, threesome, a little quad, bring my buddy. We got to play a little golf, because it's been a couple of years since I'm terrible now. Handicaps up there.
We don't judge. We're there for the good time. So you name the place, we're there.
Exactly.
Drink some beer, have a good time. No doubt about it too as well. I love these guys. I know definitely we're going to get them back on here too. The song is Breakup Song across all the digital platforms. And of course, you guys check out lemoncashmusic.com for more information out there too. Tour dates, merchandise, things like that too. Give them a like across all the social media. Guys, let's do this again. Hope you had a great time.
Absolutely, Brandon.
It was awesome. Thanks so much for having us. It was a great chat. Great hanging with you.
And we'll do this anytime. Anytime you'll have us, we're available.
We'll do it. It's Corey, Jeff, Lemon Cash, one of Canada's top bands up there too. Look out, because they're going to be splashing on the scene, squeezing more lemonade coming up here in the next few years too. I love it. Lemon Cash coming up here in a little bit on the show. 20 is going to join us too as well. She's big in the UK and of course in Nashville. Next week, Hillary Reese, and we're going to track down a whole lot more here on the Backstage Pass here, powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com, also at hightidecountry.net. Back in a flash. Stay tuned.